Imagine waking up each morning feeling like no one truly sees you. Not just the surface, but the fire burning deep inside. The kind of fire that's restless, that refuses to be tamed by routine or rules designed by others. It's the kind of fire that founders, investors, and leaders know all too well. That gnawing frustration when the systems around you, supposedly made for your success, start feeling like cages. When the promises of freedom, equality, and progress crumble beneath the weight of mediocrity and silence. You're out here building something real, raw, and revolutionary, while the world sticks you in a box stamped "authorities approve" or "play it safe." You feel the loneliness of blazing your own trail, the isolation of trying to rewrite the rules in a world desperate to keep them. But what if the pain, the relentless battle for validation and support, ends not by shouting louder alone, but by finding the exact few who burn as fiercely, who challenge the same limits, who refuse to settle? What if the real breakthrough isn't about more noise, more followers, or more convenience, but about forming unbreakable alliances with other founder families, those rare, radical individuals who don't just want to survive or succeed, but to overturn the whole system while staying fiercely true to themselves? This isn't a fantasy or a trendy buzzword. It's happening right now in the undercurrents of powerhouses you may only have glanced at, and it's about to explode into the mainstream. It's about turning fragmentation into fortress, isolation into infinite power. The alliances of founder families are the future's hidden secret weapon. They're curated, rare, and designed to unleash what the world's comfortable structures fear most: a collective of sovereign creators rewriting the game on their own brutal terms. Hear this clearly. The problem isn't that the rare don't exist. They do. They're everywhere, usually misunderstood, misaligned, stuck trying to swim upstream alone. The problem is the world's infrastructures, designed for mass production and mediocre outputs, suffocate the exceptional. They create noise, hundreds of thousands shouting for attention, while the power lies in silence, in select, perfect alignment of the right few whose brilliance fits together like a lock and key. When founders, family offices, and investors connect on a profound level beyond just financial exchange, sharing values, vision, and raw ambition, the explosive energy creates a force that can't be ignored. The old ways tell you to isolate, to play the game patiently, to scale, and optimize. But deep down, you know scaling noise won't fuel revolution. It won't bring you out of that constant state of compromise and exhaustion. The real secret? It's choosing the right few to build with. Those who see the world as it truly is, who question every premise, every reality handed down by the status quo. They don't just break rules, they burn them to ash and build smarter ones. Together, founder family alliances forge a sacred space where your battle scars become badges of honor, where the kind of raw, unfiltered support everyone talks about but nobody gives becomes reality. Imagine replacing the loneliness and suspicion that haunt high achievement with a tribe, not a noisy crowd, that honors your sovereignty as an individual while multiplying your power through connection. This is a movement of the few, of intentional alignment, where investors don't just throw money, but contribute insight forged in fire and defeat, where founders don't just pitch, but share the unfiltered truth of their struggles and breakthroughs, where family offices are not silent vaults, but beating hearts of radical transformation. It's scary to think about because it means dismantling everything comfortable, even the version of yourself that was okay with playing parts, pleasing expectations, or walking safe paths. It's terrifying because it requires vulnerability with those who, if chosen wrong, could become the heaviest chains instead of wings. But it's the only way to rise from the ashes of quiet desperation into a blaze that changes everything. You may have felt this urge, a quiet rage at the illusion of freedom sold to you, the frustration at systems that claim to serve but only substitute, the ache of being misunderstood in a world drowning in voices but starved for true connection. You're done waiting, done bending. You want more than incremental success. You want transformation that starts inside and radiates power outward. So here's what founder family alliances give you, beyond just capital or networking. They give you clarity. When you align with a few who carry the same fire, mirroring and challenging your vision, your focus sharpens like a blade. You stop wasting energy on distractions because your time and effort are sacred. You learn faster, think bigger, and act smarter. They give you strength, not just financial muscle, but emotional and intellectual resilience. When crises hit, and you know they will, you have people who don't flinch, who have your back with insight, proof, and unwavering resolve. You no longer face storms alone, but as a fortress built on shared vision and trust. They give you freedom. Freedom from having to explain every bold decision. Freedom from the grind of convincing everyone to believe in a future they can't yet see. Freedom to be your whole self with people who embrace the messy, raw, radical you. Freedom that so many seek, but few find. They give you transformation. Because change starts when the right people gather. They spark innovation not in isolation, but in collision. Ideas don't just get shared, they mutate and evolve at a speed impossible alone. You become part of a living organism, not a lonely island. This is why the rise of founder family alliances isn't just a trend, it's a necessary evolution. For anyone who's ever felt trapped in a business model, bounded by outdated family office strategies, or isolated in their leadership, this is a call. A call to step beyond the noise and scarcity to something bigger, something lasting. And for those who wonder, is this risky? What if I lose control? Understand this. True control doesn't come from tightening your grip. It comes from choosing your partners with precision, respecting everyone's sovereignty, and building an ecosystem where power is shared, doubled, and multiplied, not diluted. It's a dance of respect and ferocity, where trust is forged in fire, and every alliance is an act of rebellion against a world built on mediocrity and silence. This is your roadmap. First, strip away the noise, reject mass-market approaches, be deliberate. Seek out those rare individuals and families who share your hunger for radical redefinition, not just wealth preservation or generic growth. Find those who are willing to unlearn and rewrite their blueprint because they understand that progress doesn't come from comfort zones. Next, build the language and culture where radical honesty and brutal support coexist, where every conversation peels away pretense and every transaction builds trust, where differences are celebrated not as barriers but as power sources. This is where real magic happens. Then, align resources, financial and non-financial, in ways that amplify mutual advantage. This means moving beyond transactional deals to partnerships that hold each party accountable to the shared mission. It means creating systems where patience is valued over impulsive gain, because true liberation plays the long game. Finally, unleash your collective to reshape realities, whether that's breaking into new markets, revolutionizing industries, or creating new governance structures that don't replicate the old world's mistakes. The Founder Family Alliance is more than a partnership. It's a new form of civilization within civilization, a portable nucleus of transformation wherever it goes. Hold on to this vision because the time to act isn't tomorrow, next month, or next year. It's now. The world is shifting underfoot. Borders, systems, and old certainties crumble daily. The few ready to harness the power of alignment, of radical freedom and fierce respect will be the architects of the future. Will you be one of them? The rise of founder family alliances is the quiet revolution for those who refuse to settle for less, who know deep down that extraordinary exists and it requires connection, commitment, and courage. If you hear this, if it kindles your fire, you're not alone. You're exactly where you need to be. Let this be the moment you break from the chains of silence, isolation, and compromise. Reach out, align, become unstoppable. Because in this new era, the rare don't survive alone. They rise united, unstoppable, and unbreakable.